Welcome to another episode of The Vault, where me and Steve sit at the round table and we talk about the most important thing in life, comic books.
Woohoo!
Alright, we got a special guest star tonight.
Yes.
Ben Noah. He's a film director. And so tonight our topic is going to be superhero movies.
Woo, excellent.
Or maybe let's get it down to comic book movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, comic
There's
book
a lot of
movies.
superheroes out there with
That's
their
right,
films.
yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you want to start?
Well, I haven't put much thought in this, but I'd say a good starting point would be, for me, it begins and ends with Batman 89.
Yeah, sure. I love that movie. It's on the theater.
Oh yes, it was a long time ago, but it was almost like an instant classic in a way.
Yeah, so Tops of the Road.
But you watch it and it's like I've seen this 100 times before in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. The production design and like everything's practical, and just like it feels like a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's its own kind of original take on it, right? It's not just. I mean, my thing with the not Marvel movies, but the cinematic universe is, it just feels like the same thing over
Very
and over
formulaic,
and
yeah.
over. It's not like the work of, Tim Burton as production designer. They're doing their own really original thing, right? So that's why I love that movie. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Right?
because there's a long stretch between Superman and then that Batman movie.
Because I guess that was the first big the big superhero movie was Superman 1.
Yeah,
And
that was
Superman-
great.
Yeah, and Superman 2 was deadly as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 and 4.
Yeah,
Well, number 3 was
Richard Pryor
Richard Pryor. Then he had the Quest for Peace.
had his moments.
Quest for Peace had his moments.
No, the third one. I never saw the fourth one actually.
Yeah, that one's questionable.
But there was a
Yeah, I
long
remember
stretch
seeing that.
between the
Yeah.
good Superman movies and then Batman comes out of nowhere, and it was like the whole world just went Batmania. Like everyone was wearing a Batman shirt.
Yeah.
You go into the comic shop, you couldn't buy a Batman comic; they were all gone.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of Batman comics.
And
right?
everybody was doing the bat dance.
Yeah.
That's right. And that was like dark too, right? It was just way darker than anything that came before. And also Batman Returns is fucking great too. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And people don't really talk too much about that because one is so great. But I mean, it's got the same artistry to it, It's very interesting to look at, and music is great, and the story's pretty good, and Michelle Pfeiffer and DeVito,
I found DeVito really creepy.
so
Yeah.
weird,
Yeah.
eating a fish head and everything.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
it's
know
just-
any weird teeth and shit.
and he's always like moist.
I would have rather like a more comic version of Penguin as opposed to this
It was
creepy living in the sewer Penguin.
definitely his own weird take on it. But Tim Burton always does that, though.
And then the third one, Tommy Lee Jones was way overacting in it. I didn't
Yes.
mind Val Kilmer. Jim Carrey was okay. I could have done without Robin altogether.
Yeah,
And then the fourth one I never saw because it just looks so bad.
that is worth watching
Oh.
just to see how fucking bad you can mess it up,
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
Well, Arnold was Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, and Bane.
The Bane
is
was
dead from
horrific.
steroids.
Bane was in that?
Bane was in it,
Yeah.
and Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
That was
and
Irma Thurman.
Batgirl.
And
Everybody was
Batgirl.
in
Yeah,
that.
chubby Batgirl.
Yeah, and sadly Clooney's nipples, which nobody
Yeah,
needs.
yeah.
Oh, baby.
And I never liked Robin in either one of those movies. Actually, I couldn't watch it. I tried watching number 4, and I was like, oh, I got to turn
Well, there
this
was
off.
5 too, wasn't it? Didn't he? Clooney did how many?
No, he did
Just
one.
one.
So Schumacher
That wasn't
directed
all.
the two
But
after.
I thought he did Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
the fourth
4.
one.
That's the 4th one. So,
Yeah.
so there was no 2 George Clooney Batmans.
No, thank
No.
God.
Oh.
There is a God.
Oh my God!
Thank God, yeah.
I feel a bit more relief now
Yeah.
because he only did one. Oh, okay. That's
Another
good.
one I always think about is Dick Tracy.
Oh, I
Another
love that.
movie that is just like, it looks like a comic book.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
Just so cool.
For some reason, that flopped, though.
Did it really?
Yeah,
It
even
had
though you
so
had
many
Madonna
big
in it
names in it. McDonald's had the big promotion with it.
Pacino.
Yeah.
And it did not do well in the box office. I don't
That's
know
too
why,
bad.
because it's good. Tracy,
I
Tracy,
love-
Tracy.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Madonna is the blank.
Yeah.
There's so many big names in it, right?
Dustin
I guess-
Hoffman was in it.
I guess all those people grew up with Dick Tracy.
Well,
and they
that's right,
just wanted to be
Mumbles.
part of it, right?
Mumbles, exactly. Yeah.
Big one did it. Big one did it.
And they had trading cards. I mean, they tried, but I mean, some of these characters are so old. Like, I mean, no one's looking for a Doc Savage film, right? And I think maybe Dick Tracy sort of was at a bygone era that they couldn't really update to modern times.
And you know what I find really weird is what jump-started the whole Marvel mania of movies
Yes.
is Blade.
Yes.
Blade, like a nothing character who, like, you know...
How dare you say that?
But the first one's good. It's a good laugh.
Oh,
That
yeah, I
movie.
loved it. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, really enjoyable, but it's like, it's Blade. Like, it's not Spider-Man. It's not X-Men.
Yeah.
But I think that's the reason why
They wouldn't
why it
make the
started off.
X-Men until they realized
you
that
got-
Blade was popular.
But you got Blade, which everybody thinks this is a nothing character.
Mm.
But because they said, oh my God, if Blade could do that, what if we did do Spider-Man? What if we did do
Well, the
X-Men? What if
X-Men
we did do
came
Captain
first.
America?
Huh?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the first
the
X-Men.
X-Men.
I
was-
love the first.
was
I
really good.
remember seeing that opening night and it's just like
It
I
was
can't
great.
believe I'm seeing an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Like how cool
It was great. And the second one was good too.
Yeah.
And even I really enjoyed the first two Spider-Mans too.
Oh, the first one I went
Yeah.
opening night too, and it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is just perfect, right?
Yeah.
He played a perfect Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He did a
And
great
I
Peter
love the
Parker.
whole he's poor and living in a rundown apartment, and it was just great, right? I did not like the Green Goblin at all. I hated his costume.
Yeah, the costume was not
Yeah,
good.
I
It was
mean-
horrible. I could see his eyes underneath those stupid orange
Yeah.
things he had.
But Defoe was good because he looked
yeah,
like
he
a
was
Defoe
cool.
was very creepy and very real. But I do agree that
I did not like the costume.
But the cool
Doc Ock was awesome.
Doc
It
Ock
was great,
good.
yeah. But the cool thing about those two movies is they're actually pulling frames of like comic covers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
putting them into the movie, right? And like I don't really see that happening right now. You know, when I'm now I didn't grow up reading the Avengers and all that stuff, but the cinematic universe they have, I mean, it's time to try something else. I just feel like it's.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters out there.
Oh, how many movies are in that universe now? Like,
Oh well, he had 1, 2, 3, 4 Avengers, 3 Captain America,
it's gotta be like 20
3
or something.
Thor,
right?
3
Oh,
Iron
probably
Man.
30 or 40 now.
There is a lot.
A couple Guardians.
But it works, and the one thing I will say about it, at least they put in the humor as opposed to the DC. It was almost like going to a funeral.
yeah.
True.
You mean the DC ones, like, oh my goodness gracious me! I mean,
But there's
where
good
is
ones.
the happy?
There's good ones before. I mean, like obviously Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. You know, it's a new take on that story, and it looks great, and the story's great, and it's like set in a world that could really exist.
Yes,
And that's
I
an
agree with
interesting
that.
take on it, right?
But I
they
mean,
couldn't
see
do anything
Batman
with
versus Superman.
though. Now, even the two Superman movies were like
Well, Superman Returns with Brandon Ruth.
Roth, yeah.
Roth.
It's like watchable.
The other one, I saw the 7 o'clock showing. Halfway through it, girlfriend had to poke me because I was like,
Yeah.
it was just like, why are you fighting for an hour and a half?
Is that Man of Steel you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And he
Too
lets his
much,
father
like-
die.
You know,
It's
it's
like,
just boring, but
Well, what, like you're a superhero. You can just who cares? Save Kevin Costner.
well, we saved Lois Lane
I
by
love
going
Kevin
around the
Costner,
earth
right?
backwards.
Yeah, you throw Kevin Costner in a movie, I'll go watch it. So that was like a drawing
But
point.
then,
I don't think you're going to see him in any movies
Yeah.
anymore.
the tornado took him.
Yeah, people love to hate him for sure.
And now they do.
Yeah.
What did he do something? Did he do
It's just
something
one,
bad,
I
or
think it's
was
just
it
Waterworlds that.
Well, that's been a look. He did.
I love Waterworld. I'll
He
be.
did
I'll
Dance with
attest.
Wolves.
Well, I
he
never
did
finished
all right.
It is hilarious.
Untouchables was great. You know, leave the poor man alone. The
Yeah.
poor man.
He made a lot of good
He
westerns
made
too.
some good. He's made some good films.
Yeah.
It's funny how, like, you take the first Iron Man, which was, like, really good,
Yeah, excellent film.
and then the other two were, like, awful.
Yeah, it's like who cares, right?
Well, yeah, they didn't.
and
do a
I was
very
on
good
board
job.
then too. Like the first Iron Man, and when they did the first Avengers at that time, I was like, okay, this hasn't been done where they get this many superheroes in one movie and actually pull it off.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that. But then it was just the same thing.
The
over
second
and
one
over.
was, I still
The
haven't
second one
watched it.
wasn't that
Like,
great.
It's just awful.
Yeah, so it just got boring to me, and
And like
now
the first Guardians, that was great, and the second one was like, God. And then everyone was like, oh, you can't fire James Gunn. It's like, why? He did one, was really good, but the second one was awful.
Yeah.
Like,
is he? Did
Sorry.
he get rehired after?
oh, yeah,
doing-
he's back.
Oh, is he back? Oops.
Oh, my watch.
Oh.
Very expensive. This is a.
Now, I want to ask you now,
$5,000
if
watch.
they're, what character would you guys love to see in a superhero film? Like, what character that hasn't been done would you like to see?
Swamp Thing properly. I haven't seen the show. Yeah, they had that practical suit, which looked pretty cool. But didn't they cancel it before it even...
It canceled before the first episode premiered.
Yeah. And what did you guys think of the Watchmen?
I haven't seen the Watchmen. Oh,
I'll be honest with you, when I saw it in the theater, I'm like, I'm just reading, just like you're just reading the comic to me. It was like almost too close to the comic, right?
Yeah.
But then when I watched it again at home with my girlfriend, and she loved it because she never read the comic, and it was like, okay, I get it, like, it's actually pretty good, right?
Well, a comic is
I
just
thought
so
they
good.
miscast some of the characters.
Yeah, sure.
Rorschach was perfect. He did a great job with
Yeah,
that. Comedian,
Jack Earl Haley.
fantastic. But the Silk Spectre was poor. I thought the guy who played
Night Owl?
Dr. Manhattan and Night Owl,
Yeah,
they just there was something missing.
yeah, sure.
So the casting, I think, let the film down there. They had some really good casting choices and some poor casting choices.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had a really fantastic ensemble in it, I think it would have done much better justice to the book.
But it is one of those things that, like, taking that on cinematically, like, it's like taking on Lord of the Rings as a book, right? The Watchmen, for me, is probably the best comic ever written. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I've read it several times. I think it's just on a whole other level of quality, right? As a story, period. Not just as a comic book, as an actual story, right?
I'll be honest with you, I think some of the best comic book movies are not superhero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ghost World? I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah, that was well made.
American Splendor was so good.
That's Giamatti, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is really good as well.
And the Crumb movie was really good. Like,
That's
totally
Criterion just put
enjoyed
that out.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of movies that are like...
Steve Buscemi's in Ghost World. I found it's a movie, the more I watch it, the more I like it.
cool.
It's just
I should rewatch that.
It's really subtle, right?
There's a lot of movies in the 80s, we were talking about the 80s earlier, that weren't necessarily based on comic books. But like the first RoboCop, there's a comic,
absolutely.
a comic after that, but it's like
Yeah.
clearly a comic book movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it was a wonderful film.
I'd say with Terminator, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Predator as well too.
Yeah. Or even Aliens, right?
Aliens. I mean, all these films. I mean, clearly you can see the EC Comics
Yeah.
infusion into the writing.
Oh yeah,
You know?
when they make a comic after the movie comes out, you know the movie's good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But they're not really doing that now anymore, are they? It's just straight up superhero movies, period.
Yeah, it
seems
feels
like.
that way.
But there has to be some kind of gap in the market for these more esoteric characters, most esoteric stories to put out. That just not just wham bam, here's the villain and
Yeah.
go through your formula.
Another one I love too is the first Sin City. I think
Yes.
that's like
The
kind
first
That
City
was
is fantastic.
amazing.
I think it all kind of ended there for me. I think that's the last comic book movie I really loved.
I like Ant-Man, but yeah.
Ant-Man was fun because it
I
was,
like them
it was,
both,
it was
actually.
comedic,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Paul Rudd's a good actor. I like him.
But doesn't it look just like every other cinematic universe movie? Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
But-
and maybe I'm looking too far into it as a filmmaker, right? And maybe I should allow myself to just look at it as a comic book fan,
I think you have to remember too that these films are not meant to be dissected the way
Of course,
Citizen Kane is.
they're entertainment.
They're here for popcorn, Coca-Cola, sit down and forget all your troubles for 2.5 hours.
But the same could be said
You know?
about the first Batman too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But-
Absolutely. I'm sure that the guys at Warner Brothers, when they were porking out all the millions to get this film done, they were not thinking about the cinematic, the cinematography and how wonderful this film's going to be 30 years from now.
Mhm.
They're thinking profits,
Yeah,
toys,
Toys is the big thing.
merchandising.
you make more money with the toys.
Well,
than
Jack
the-
Nicholson certainly was.
He made his fortune on that, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He got a
He
piece
made
of
over
it,
$50 million.
and he could just take it easy after that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so I mean that's what they were thinking then.
So upcoming movies, they got to say, tomorrow got their list of what's happening.
Yes.
I'm curious. Could be good, could be bad. Don't know. Valiant is finally taking the foray into movies with Bloodshot. We'll see.
I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah.
It didn't look
Yeah.
too great, but who knows? Maybe it will be.
I just want them to make, and Marvel, I know you're watching. I want you to make a really good Man-Thing film.
That would be cool.
The first, the one that someone else put out, wasn't very good, but you can have a wonderful origin story, And Man-Thing, you can sort of put him into that Doctor Strange multi-universe thing
That I
that's
like.
coming out in a couple of years. Because I think you're going to do the Marvel Zombies
Yeah.
in that film. If you can throw in Man-Thing, who is the protector at the nexus of the universe, please do, because we want to see it.
They're one of the.
And by the way, King Conan would be nice too.
Man.
Arnold wants to do a King Conan. Let him do it.
Let's talk about that.
King Conan,
Conan the Barbarian for me.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of
one of
people,
my favorite films of all time.
It has its cheese, but as a whole, that movie.
Put
is
that cheese on
fucking
toast, I'm eating
phenomenal. Oh yeah, I've seen that movie probably 40 times.
It is a wonderful film, and wonderful script, wonderful direction, and it's too bad that they made the mistake of doing the second one that wasn't R-rated.
But that was because Milius wasn't on board. John Milius was the director of the first
Well,
one.
he was kicked out by De Laurentiis, so he saw E.T. and said, "Oh, that's where the money is, so
Yeah.
we got to do a PG one."
Yeah, but
And
they never
Arnold
did
was
make the
upset.
King Conan. He's still talking about it.
Well, there was a poster, and apparently the people who owned the Conan rights don't want to do it with Arnold. And it's like, but Arnold
That's
is
the
the
reason.
king. Yeah.
See, that is.
Well, I mean, they did it with Aquaman, and that
Momoa,
flopped,
yeah.
Jason Momoa, and we all love Jason Momoa coming to Newfoundland. It's fantastic, but the film itself didn't do very well.
Yeah, I worked on all the stuff.
Yeah.
He came in. We did the action movie Braven. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
It's like Die Hard in Newfoundland Woods.
Oh,
It's hilarious, like B movie. It's good time. But yeah, what was the character you would like to see? I know I mentioned one. He said the Man-Thing.
Man-Thing, absolutely.
Obviously, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight
Yeah,
would
that
be
hasn't
great.
been done yet.
That could be cool. Shang-Chi. Could be cool.
Shang-Chi's going to be a good film.
A Tomb of Dracula movie, the Marvel
Yeah,
take on
that'd be cool.
Dracula.
That was a wonderful,
Werewolf by
wonderful
Night.
series.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night. I mean, all the horror ones, as you know, I loved. I love those. But with the Living Mummy, when they did that in supernatural thrillers,
I'd like to see Rom,
did a great
man.
job.
Rom would be cool.
Rom
would
would
be.
definitely be cool,
He was very cool.
and he could be in the Marvel cinematographic universe as well.
Yeah.
I think though the problem is who owns the rights to that, because it was
The toy
Hasbro.
maker. Whoever made
Yeah,
the
I
toy.
Hasbro
believe that's what
owns
it
them.
is.
So, but I mean, Rom, we like Rom.
All right, well, that should do it for another week. So thanks for watching The Vault.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye bye, guys.
All right.
Cheers.
Peace.